All right, I'd like to call the first public hearing to order. The first public hearing is for local law number 1 of year 2019, providing for a partial exemption of water rates and of taxation of property of parties over 65 years of age whose income is less than $25,000 a year. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Gosick.
Yes.
Councilor Tesorio.
Yes.
Councilor Cordino.
Yes.
Here's the Councilor McBrady.
Here. Oh, geez.
Here.
Councilor DeMasi.
Here.
Councilor Hill.
Here.
Councilor Wilmot.
Here.
All present.
Thank you. I'm here too. There's nobody signed up to speak for this local law. Would anyone in the audience like to speak on this local law? Seeing none, I'll take a motion to adjourn the public hearing. Councilor Corradino. Councilor Hill. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Gosick.
Yes.
Councilor Tesorio.
Yes.
Councilor Cordino.
Yes.
Councilor McBrady.
Yes.
Councilor DeMasi.
Here.
Yes. Councilor Hill. Yes. Councilor Wilmot.
Yes.
Resolution passes 7-0.
That public hearing's closed, and I'd like to open public hearing number 2. This public hearing is for local law number 2 of year 2019. It's a local law amending the law number 1 of year 1997, the alternative veterans tax exemption. Will clerk please call the roll?
His Honor the Mayor.
Here.
Councilor McBrady.
Here.
Councilor DeMasi.
Here.
Councilor Hill.
Here.
Councilor Wilmot.
Here.
Councilor Gosick.
Here.
Councilor Tesorio.
Here.
Councilor Cordino.
Here.
All present.
Nobody signed up to speak. Would anyone in the audience like to speak on the alternative veterans exemption? Seeing none, take a motion to adjourn. Councilor Gosick, Councilor Hill. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Gosick.
Yes.
Councilor Tesorio.
Yes.
Councilor Cordino.
Yes.
Councilor McBrady.
Yes.
Councilor DeMasi.
Yes.
Councilor Hill.
Yes.
Councilor Wilmot.
Yes.
Resolution passes 7-0.
This public hearing is adjourned. The next public hearing's at 7:10. Mark, you nervous? Don't be nervous, Mark. Everything's under control. What am I doing now? Oh, public hearing, or propose something. All right, third public hearing for proposed law number 3 of 2019. It's a local law known as the Cold War Veterans Property Tax Exemption Act. Will clerk please call the roll?
His Honor the Mayor.
Here.
Councilor McBrady. Councilor DeMasi.
Here.
Councilor Hill.
Here.
Councilor Wilmot.
Here.
Councilor Gosick.
Here.
Councilor Tesorio.
Here.
Councilor Cordino.
Here.
All present.
Nobody signed up to speak. Would anyone in the audience like to speak on the Cold War tax exemption? Seeing none, I'll take a motion to adjourn. Councilor Corradino, Councilor Hill. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Gosick.
Yes.
Councilor Tesorio.
Yes.
Councilor Cordino.
Yes.
Councilor McBrady. Councilor DeMasi.
Yes.
Councilor Hill.
Yes.
Councilor Wilmot.
Yes.
Resolution passes 7-0.
Public hearing is adjourned, and I'll open up public session. One person signed up to speak, Mark Slozak.
Good evening, Mayor and Councilors. I'm happy to be here tonight to share my annual report with you. Just to give you an idea of what I've been up to for the last year. One of my main objectives is to provide support to historical groups and organizations through active membership and participation in local and regional and state organizations and museums. So in that endeavor, I'm part of the Association of Public Historians of New York State, and as such I got certified as a certified historian, and I recently was able to become a trustee of that organization. I belong to the Tri-County Historical Association, which takes in Jefferson, Lewis, and Oswego County, and we have an annual meeting. I belong to the Oswego County Municipal Historians, the Oswego County Historical Committee. It's a subgroup of the County Tourism Office. We meet about 4 or 5 times a year and try to coordinate activities and plan historical events. I belong to the Heritage Foundation, and I'm also on the board of directors for the Heritage Foundation. I'm an active member of the H.L. White Museum and have done lectures there in the past and have worked as a volunteer. I'm active with Safe Haven and Friends of Fort Ontario. I belong to the Oswego County Historical Society, active in their lectures and other activities, and I've also lectured for them. And I also am active with the Save Oswego's Historic Sites group. This past year, I attended the following conferences: the Association of Public Historians of New York State, the Fort Ontario Conference, the Tri-County Historical Association's annual meeting, and a Risk Management of Collections workshop held by the Museum Association of New York State. Some of my other activities: I attend regularly History on Tap. I've been a moderator. I provide resources to that group, and it's a pretty active group, and we have a lot of fun doing a lot of things that highlight the glorious history of Oswego. I also collaborated with Bob Perkins, providing him resources and pictures and other things for his most recent publication. I've done interviews for news articles that appear in local newspapers. I worked with Bergman Associates over the last 2 years, providing them with pictures and information. They were doing some in-depth studies on Bright Pet Park. I was head of the World War I 100th Anniversary Commemoration Committee, and we planned a lot of activities. I think if you look at my summary, you can see that we were pretty active all year. I did a lot of presentations with regard to that, and also was a keynote speaker at the assembly we had on November 11th. I participated last year in the county fair displays, and I provided a picture book that gave a nice story about the new Cahill Landing building. And I most recently had participated in the formation of the Oswego History Research Center. It's a newly formed nonprofit, and we're trying to put together a group that will centralize and digitize documents and artifacts and things of that sort, so that make them accessible to the public. One of my ongoing and almost daily chores is, I wouldn't call it a chore, it's more something I really enjoy doing. I correspond with a variety of number of people from all over the country, all over the world, and I try to provide them with resources, pictures, documents, and other things. I try to help them as they're doing research, most generally about people or businesses from Oswego, and it really it's a work of love for me. So basically that's what keeps me going in my retirement, and I do really appreciate the fact that you allow me to do this, and it's really been a lot of fun. Thank you. Any questions?
I would just like to thank you for the service you provide to the city of Oswego and anybody in the world that's interested in this area. It's great. I've read a lot of things you've published. I think it's a wonderful resource. I think it's a gem, and I applaud you for that.
Thank you. There's a cadre of people in the city who really have a high degree of expertise about the history, the glorious history of our city, and we hope to carry that on. It's one of the most gratifying things about this community is its history.
Thank you.
Okay.
Great.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming. No one else has signed up to speak for public session. Would anyone in the audience like to speak? Seeing none, I'll close public session, and the meeting starts at 7:30. I'd like to call the meeting in order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Clerk, please call the roll.
His Honor the Mayor.
Here.
Councilor McBrady. Here. Councilor DeMassey. Here. Counselor Hill.
Here.
Counselor Wilmot.
Here.
Counselor Gosick.
Here.
Counselor Tesario.
Here.
Counselor Cordino.
Here.
All present.
Thank you. I would just like to take a minute under the mayor's report and thank the DPW, the Oswego Police Department, and the Oswego Fire Department for the day they had today. Ever since Chief Griffin, really ever since 2016, but when Chief Griffin came on board, we've spent a considerable amount of time since then getting the three departments to work together, coordinate, and communicate, and I think that was on full display today, because even though there was a lot going on, it didn't feel, at least as far as from my perspective and as from talking to the three department heads, that anything was too chaotic or out of control. We had issues and we had things happening all around town, but we were managing them as they came up, and we never once felt like we had serious problems that we needed to address in a hurry and try to catch up. We were just managing and staying with it all day. We had 10 downed trees. This is of my last update, which was just before the meeting. So today alone we had 10 downed trees. 6 large portion of trees or large branches came down that we had to tend to. We had an arm of our marina dock break off and had to be retrieved. We had 3 lift stations that went down and had to be rebooted because they lost power. We had 8 cases of downed wires, 5 broken traffic signals that needed to be repaired or replaced. We had multiple street signs blown over. We had 1 structure fire. We had 2 gas leaks related to the wind. We were, of course, out brine and salting. We had several other calls related to and unrelated to the weather, of course, and we did this all with no Wi-Fi or phones at the DPW. So it was quite the day, and I would just like to thank DPW Commissioner Tom Kells, who himself had a chainsaw and was in the traffic bucket and out in the elements today. Chief Griffin, and of course his entire staff at the DPW. Chief Griffin and his crew today that went to the structure fire. It actually came in as an all call, so some other personnel came in, and Chief DeCare and all the police officers that were on patrol today. It truly was a team effort, and as hard as some of the situations were that came up, as unexpected as they could be, I think that they all did a great job, and I would just like to thank them and acknowledge their staff. Any other comments from the council before we get started? Seeing none, will clerk please call resolution number 70.
Approved minutes, common council meeting held February 11th, 2019.
Councilor McBrearty, Councilor Cordino, any comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Gosick.
Yes.
Counselor Tesario.
Yes.
Counselor Cordino.
Yes.
Counselor McBrearty.
Yes.
Counselor DeMassey. Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot.
Yes.
Resolution passes 7-0.
Clerk, please call resolution number 71.
Appoint Commissioner of Deeds.
Councilor Gozick, Councilor Tesario, any comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Gosick.
Yes.
Counselor Tesario.
Yes.
Counselor Cordino.
Yes.
Counselor McBrearty.
Yes.
Counselor DeMassey. Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot.
Yes.
Resolution passes 7-0.
Clerk, please call resolution number 72.
Approve use of public space, Anthony Pauldine, owner of real property located at 203 West 1st Street, in order to install a projecting sign.
Councilor Gozick, Councilor McBrearty, any comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Gosick.
Yes.
Counselor Tesario.
Yes.
Counselor Cordino.
Yes.
Counselor McBrearty.
Yes.
Counselor DeMassey. Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot.
Yes.
Resolution passes 7-0.
Clerk, please call resolution number 73.
Approve use of Wrights Landing Marina area for a boat launch steward educator from the St. Lawrence Eastern Lake Ontario Partnership for Regional Invasive Species Management Program to be held during the summer season.
Councilor McBrearty, Councilor Tesario, any comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Gosick.
Yes.
Counselor Tesario.
Yes.
Counselor Cordino.
Yes.
Counselor McBrearty.
Yes.
Counselor DeMassey.
Yes.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot.
Yes.
Resolution passes 7-0.
Clerk, please call resolution number 74.
Accept donation of baseball park equipment by the Oswego Little League organization and further authorize use of public space to install the equipment.
Councilor DeMassey, Councilor Tesario, any comments? Councilor Gozick.
No, I just wanted to, I really appreciate this donation. I just wanted to emphasize again our quality of life here in Oswego. When we think about recreation, physical activities for our youth, especially today with Oswego County being, marked as having like one of the highest obesity rates around. I think that this speaks to not only pride in our community, but also, to have those upgraded facilities. When my kid was there, they didn't have the T-ball. They had to play on a bigger field. I think that's great to get, people involved, and especially kids involved. So I really appreciate this. And that's all. I just wanted to reiterate that because I think it's great.
Thank you. Any other comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Gozick.
Yes.
Counselor Tesorio.
Yes.
Counselor Cordino.
Yes.
Counselor McBrady.
Yes.
Counselor DeMassey.
Yes.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot.
Yes.
Resolution passes 7-0.
Clerk, please call resolution number 75.
Grant waiver of Chapter 63, Section 63-7D of the City Code to Tractor Supply Company in order to sell quantities of not less than 6 chicks or ducklings to a single purchaser.
Councilor DeMassey, Councilor Hill. Any comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Gozick.
Yes.
Counselor Tesorio.
Yes.
Counselor Cordino.
Yes.
Counselor McBrady.
Yes.
Counselor DeMassey.
Yes.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot.
Yes.
Resolution passes 7-0.
Clerk, please call resolution number 76.
Approve proposed local law number 1 of the year 2019, a local law amending local law number 1 of the year 1995, a local law providing for a partial exemption of water rents and of taxation of property of parties over 65 years of age whose income is less than $25,000.
Councilor Cordino, Councilor Gozick. This is, remember, about a month ago, we proposed this at a committee meeting. This is the first of the public hearings we had, and it's the tax exemption, updating the tax exemption for our senior citizens 65 years of age or older whose incomes fall within the income limits. This is for both property taxes and the water rates, water fees. And just to recap, the thresholds have not been updated since 1996. So fast forward well over 10 years later, we thought it was time to update these so that we can help our senior citizens who are on low income, limited income, and try to give them the break that they deserve. And even in at least just adjusting this to inflation, I think we went a little bit beyond that, but I truly think it's the right thing to do. And I'm proud that after all the decisions we've made, really over the last 3 years with city finances and investment and managing the city, that we're in a position where we can safely update these thresholds. So the existing structure before was if you made $17,500 or less, you had a 50% exemption, and that went incrementally by 5 percentage points up to $24,100 to $25,000. If you made anywhere between 24 and 25,000, you had a 10% exemption. So the exemption was scaled back as the income went up between 17.5 and 25. Our update takes the exemptions, instead of being $17,500 or less, it goes up to $22,500 or less. You get 50%, and then it goes down by 5 points until you get to what was $24,000 to $25,000 was 10%. Now it's $29,500 to $30,500 is a 10% exemption. So I listed these exemptions on my Facebook, and we'll put it on the website, and I'm sure I'll post about it after, hopefully it passes tonight. But I would just say one major point is seniors who are eligible will receive the automatic renewal. They'll receive the enrollment in a letter, and they'll be automatically renewed. However, because this is expanding the income threshold, it's going to capture seniors who are not in the program now will now be in the program because of that expansion. If you fall within in the threshold but you aren't in the program now, you need to bring that to the assessor's attention, either by phone or in person at the assessor's office, and make sure that if you think you qualify, ask, and she will qualify you if you fall within the guidelines. So I would encourage the Common Council and our friends in the media. It's going to take a little public awareness to make sure that seniors are aware of this because they may not know about it unless they know enough to ask. So, and we'll do our best when seniors come in to make them aware and see if they qualify as well. Lastly, I'll just point out that it's for residential purposes only. The residents must be their primary residence. Any other comments from the council? Councilor Cordino.
Thank you. I just want to thank and commend the mayor for recognizing that this was long overdue. As the mayor mentioned, it was last enacted in 1996, so we can all agree that $1 in 1996 is worth a lot less than it is in the year 2019. So this is long overdue, over 20 years ago, and for all the good reasons that the mayor mentioned, it's the right thing to do for our citizens. So again, thank you for bringing this to the council's attention.
Thank you. Any other comments?
I do have a point of order. This is in the very opening paragraph of the local law that the clerk read. The last line, it talks about the exemption being available for parties over the age of 65 years and whose income is less than $25,000. That should actually be changed to $30,500, which is what the local law says. What I just read doesn't actually show up in the local law. It's more of an introductory paragraph, certainly subject to amendment as needed, but I just want that to be clear that the $25,000 is changed to $30,500, which would then be consistent with the local law.
Great. We don't need to amend that, do we?
I think it's what we in the law call a scrivener's error. Just made a mistake in removing 25,000. It should have been 30,500. It is in the law that way. Just in the introductory paragraph, it's modified. So I, with your permission, and should note, and media, of course, too, that line should say 30,500.
Great. Thank you. Any other comments from the council? Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Gosick.
Yes.
Councilor Tesoriero.
Yes.
Councilor Cordino.
Yes.
Councilor McBrady.
Yes.
Councilor DeMassey.
Yes.
Councilor Hill.
Yes.
Councilor Wilmot.
Yes.
Resolution passes 7-0.
Clerk, please call resolution number 77.
Approve proposed local law number 2 of the year 2019, a local law amending local law number 1 of the year 1997, a local law known as the Alternative Veterans Exemption.
Councilor Gozick, Councilor Hill. Any comments? This law is it's another similar exemption, although it's structured a bit differently. This, otherwise known as the Gold Star Parents tax exemption. If mother or father lost a son or daughter while fighting in the U.S. Armed Forces, they qualify for a tax exemption. That tax exemption is a little more complicated. It goes between 15 and 25% exemption, but it depends on the time period in which they served and the medals they received. Goes into a formula that comes up with the exact exemption. So between 15% and 25% for parents of loved ones lost in the armed forces. Any other comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Gosick.
Yes.
Councilor Tesoriero.
Yes.
Councilor Cordino.
Yes.
Councilor McBrady.
Yes.
Councilor DeMassey.
Yes.
Councilor Hill.
Yes.
Councilor Wilmot.
Yes.
Resolution passes 7-0.
Thank you. Will clerk please call resolution number 78.
Approve proposed local law number 3 of the year 2019, a local law known as the Cold War Veterans Property Tax Exemption Act.
Councilor McBrady, Councilor Gozick. This is one last exemption that we'd like to introduce, and this goes to our Cold War veterans. It's a 15% exemption of the assessed value of the property. The cap is $12,000. And again, similar to the Gold Star parents, I just think we owe it to our veterans. Really, it's the least we can do, and we thank our veterans and those who have sacrificed so much for our country, and we appreciate everything that they've done, and I think that this is well-deserved to our veterans and family members. Any comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Gosick.
Yes.
Councilor Tesoriero.
Yes.
Councilor Cordino.
Yes.
Councilor McBrady.
Yes.
Councilor DeMassey.
Yes.
Councilor Hill.
Yes.
Councilor Wilmot.
Yes.
Resolution passes 7-0.
Clerk, please call resolution number 79.
Authorize public hearing regarding proposed local law number 4 of the year 2019, a local law amending Chapter 85, Buildings Vacant of the Code of the City of Oswego, New York.
Councilor Hill, Councilor McBurney. This goes to the fund we'd like to establish. Right now, as the law is written, we actually can, if a property has serious code violations where we think it's a danger to the health and wellness of the public, we think it's going to collapse or has serious structural deficiencies, we can actually perform work on the building and bill the property owner. What we'd like to do is create a fund associated with that law. We have $44,000 from a New York State zombie property grant. We're required to match that $44,000, so we are asking for a $44,000 allocation from the council, so that'll be $88,000 to get the fund going, and then the fees and fines collected by doing this work and the associated interest will go back into the fund to make it a revolving fund so that we don't have to go back to the taxpayers to keep administering this work if we think it's necessary. Also, I talked last week about wanting to essentially double the amount it costs to register vacant property in the city. Right now, the first year is $250. I'd like to leave that the same, but then double the registration cost for the years after. So we're asking to move this to a public hearing in 2 weeks. Any comments from the council? Excuse me. Councilor Gozick.
No, I just again wanted to thank the mayor and for his vision and foresight on this. When I started 3 years ago, you know how many calls we got. I mean, zombie properties were everywhere, and it was so frustrating when it began because you'd come back again and again. What can you do for your constituents when there really wasn't anything? But now with our land bank, with the investments we've made in rebuilding our code enforcement office, and with this, you know, we can combat the zombie property problem and the foreclosures from the banks. This is awesome. I got a couple houses in my ward right now that were such big problems. Now the land bank's there, rehabbing the houses. And with this, I mean, this is a very strategic and wise investment, a very, very small price tag for a program that I think is going to really help to revitalize Oswego and only build on the incredible progress we've already made here over the last 4 years. So, again, I commend the mayor, and obviously I think everyone will support this here. We can all appreciate that, but thank you so much.
Thank you. Any other comments? Seeing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Gossick.
Yes.
Councilor Tesorio.
Yes.
Councilor Cordino.
Yes.
Councilor McBurney.
Yes.
Councilor DeMassey.
Yes.
Councilor Hill.
Yes.
Councilor Wilmot.
Yes.
Resolution passes 7-0.
Clerk, please call resolution number 80.
Authorize public hearing regarding new singular wireless telecommunications facility at 300 East Albany Street.
Councilor Wilmot, Councilor DeMassey. Any comments? Councilor Tesorio.
I've received just a very small amount of calls concerning the location of this tower. Nothing that couldn't be explained. Told them the proximity of what we talked about in committee. I don't know if we've heard anything back from Striva. Maybe Counselor can answer that. I don't think so.
We haven't, and I don't believe they're taking any position on it.
Okay. So I think once it was explained, and this goes to public hearing, I mean, anybody can come out in public hearing, but I think, you know, this is a good thing. It's a good thing for the area. It's a good thing for the residents of the east side. We have poor service, and this is only going to enhance the service that we have over there. So, thank you.
Great. Any other comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Gossick.
Yes.
Councilor Tesorio.
Yes.
Councilor Cordino.
Yes.
Councilor McBurney.
Yes.
Councilor DeMassey.
Yes.
Councilor Hill.
Yes.
Councilor Wilmot.
Yes.
Resolution passes 7-0.
Clerk, please call resolution number 81.
Refer 2019 proposed zoning code changes to the planning board for their advisory opinion.
Councilor Hill, Councilor McBurney. Any comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Gossick.
Yes.
Councilor Tesorio.
Yes.
Councilor Cordino.
Yes.
Councilor McBurney.
Yes.
Councilor DeMassey.
Yes.
Councilor Hill.
Yes.
Councilor Wilmot.
Yes.
Resolution passes 7-0.
Clerk, please call resolution number 82.
Authorize mayor to execute an agreement with Affordable Heating Incorporated for a new heating system at the Oswego Players building located at Fort Ontario.
Counselor Gozick, Counselor Hill. Any comments? Counselor Tesorerio.
Yes, I was just wondering how many bidders we had, and was there anybody local?
We had Onondaga County selected 3 quotes. I believe they were actually, 2 were local. I can't remember off the top of my head, but there was Affordable. There was one more who was local, and I just can't remember. I can pull the quotes for you, though, in my email.
I just wonder what the difference was, and I guess, you know, if we get a chance to do business locally, I know we're doing business differently through our purchasing division, but I'd just be curious to know.
Yeah, Affordable was the lowest, and I think they were lowest by about 2,000.
2,000. All righty. Thank you.
Yep. Any other comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Gossick.
Yes.
Counselor Tesorerio.
No.
Counselor Cordino.
Yes.
Counselor McBrady.
Yes.
Counselor DeMassey.
Yes.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot.
Yes.
Resolution passes 6-1.
Clerk, please call resolution number 83.
Authorize mayor to sign all documentation necessary with AECC for the management of planned and emergency home demolition.
Counselor Gozick, Counselor Corradino. Any comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Gossick.
Yes.
Counselor Tesorerio.
Yes.
Counselor Cordino.
Yes.
Counselor McBrady.
Yes.
Counselor DeMassey.
Yes.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot.
Yes.
Resolution passes 7-0.
Clerk, please call resolution number 84.
Authorize mayor to enter into an agreement with Camden Group for the management of the Oswego water plant and to perform the chlorine modification design.
Counselor Tesorerio, Counselor DeMassey. Any comments? Will clerk please call the roll?
Counselor Gossick.
Yes.
Counselor Tesorerio.
Yes.
Counselor Cordino.
Yes.
Counselor McBrady.
Yes.
Counselor DeMassey.
Yes.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot.
Yes.
Resolution passes 7-0.
Clerk, please call resolution number 85.
Authorize mayor to enter into a renewal agreement with H. Lee White Maritime Museum at Oswego for the lease of the Oswego West Pierhead Lighthouse.
Counselor Hill, Counselor Gozick. I think the lighthouse is still out there after taking a beating today. It's more famous now than it was this morning. It was on TV quite a bit. I went on and on last week, but I think it's worth saying again that I personally just appreciate everything the Lighthouse Restoration Committee and the Maritime Museum in Mercedes Nice does for the lighthouse. You know, seeing where the lighthouse was over 5 years ago, and now they actually give boat tours and public tours. It's just remarkable that they've come so far in such a short period of time, and it's such an iconic landmark that we need to do our best to preserve it, and I believe they're the best people for the job at this point. So I have no problem committing to a long-term lease to the museum, to Mercedes and her volunteers. There's really no negative financial implication because we lease it for $1 anyway. Any comments? Councilor Gozick.
Just one little quick one, as long as we got our city historian here, and I see some other historical folks out here. If you don't know, Oswego was the first port of call west of the Atlantic in 1799, if I'm not mistaken. And, you know, so it traces back a great heritage in Oswego. And actually, if you go over to Fort Ontario, you may not know this, but the site manager's home was actually the original lighthouse keeper's home. And if our historian can correct me, I tend to exaggerate once in a while, but I believe it's one of the oldest buildings here in Oswego, going back to the 1822. So again, I just think keeping that heritage and that tradition alive. You know, there's tangible pieces of here in Oswego, but so many people from all over the world and right here in New York, across the country, but on an international level, seek out these historic lighthouses and these incredible ports of call to come and see these places. And I think it also is another piece to, you know, an economic engine here, like a driver for our economy, is more and more. I know Mercedes out there can attest to this, that the tours have been getting bigger. I'm going around to the lighthouses on the Seaway Trail. So I just think this is great, and I know you guys do great work there, and can't thank you enough for everything you do for the history of Oswego and our heritage. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Any other comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Gossick.
Yes.
Counselor Tesorerio.
Yes.
Counselor Cordino.
Yes.
Counselor McBrady.
Yes.
Counselor DeMassey.
Yes.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot.
Yes.
Resolution passes 7-0.
Clerk, please call resolution number 86.
Authorize mayor to execute an agreement with the Oswego City County Youth Bureau for the 2019 operation of the Youth Center and Skateboard Park.
Counselor McBrearty, Counselor Gozick. Any comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Gosick.
Yes.
Counselor Tesario.
Yes.
Counselor Cordino.
Yes.
Counselor McBrearty. Counselor DeMassey.
Yes.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot.
Yes.
Resolution passes 7-0.
Clerk, please call resolution number 87.
Motion to rescind resolution number 58 dated February 11th, 2019.
Counselor DeMassey, Counselor Hill. Any comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Gosick.
Yes.
Counselor Tesario.
Yes.
Counselor Cordino.
Yes.
Counselor McBrearty.
Yes.
Counselor DeMassey.
Yes.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot.
Yes.
Resolution passes 7-0.
Clerk, please call resolution number 88.
Authorize mayor to enter into an agreement with GEI Consultants to perform an external audit of the City of Oswego Owners Dam Safety Program, ODSP.
Counselor Hill, Counselor Cordino. Any comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Gosick.
Yes.
Counselor Tesario.
Yes.
Counselor Cordino.
Yes.
Counselor McBrearty.
Yes.
Counselor DeMassey. Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot.
Yes.
Resolution passes 7-0.
Clerk, please call resolution number 90. 89. I'm sorry.
Authorize mayor to enter into an agreement with GEI Consultants for out-of-scope work to be performed at the High Dam.
Counselor DeMassey, Counselor Gozick. Any comments? Counselor Tesario.
Is there a price tag associated with this, Mayor?
I don't know if, let me look in the resolution. I don't remember off the top of my head. No, that's the last one. Yeah, 5,000.
5,000, okay.
Yep.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You were right, Emily. I'm sorry. Any other comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Gosick.
Yes.
Counselor Tesario.
Yes.
Counselor Cordino.
Yes.
Counselor McBrearty.
Yes.
Counselor DeMassey.
Yes.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot.
Yes.
Resolution passes 7-0.
Clerk, please call resolution number 90.
Waive rules of common council to present resolutions number 91 through 94 from the floor without committee consideration.
Counselor Corradino, Counselor Hill. Any comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Gosick.
Yes.
Counselor Tesario.
Yes.
Counselor Cordino.
Yes.
Counselor McBrearty.
Yes.
Counselor DeMassey.
Yes.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot.
Yes.
Resolution passes 7-0.
Clerk, please call resolution number 91.
Approve sale of property located at 149 West Bridge Street.
Counselor Hill, Counselor Gozick. This property is being transferred over to the land bank for the purpose of demolition. Any comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Gosick.
Yes.
Counselor Tesario.
Yes.
Counselor Cordino.
Yes.
Counselor McBrearty.
Yes.
Counselor DeMassey.
Yes.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot.
Yes.
Resolution passes 7-0.
Clerk, please call resolution number 92.
Approve sale of property located at 139 West Bridge Street.
Counselor Gozick, Counselor Tesario. This is a property located in the 3rd Ward. Right now it's city-owned, and the city is looking to sell that property in the 3rd Ward. Any comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Gosick.
Yes.
Counselor Tesario.
Yes.
Counselor Cordino.
Yes.
Counselor McBrearty.
Yes.
Counselor DeMassey.
Yes.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot.
Yes.
Resolution passes 7-0.
Clerk, please call resolution number 93.
Approve stipulation settlement regarding real property litigation for property located at 44 West 5th Street.
Counselor Gozick, Counselor Cordino. Any comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Gosick.
Yes.
Counselor Tesario.
Yes.
Counselor Cordino.
Yes.
Counselor McBrearty.
Yes.
Counselor DeMassey.
Yes.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot.
Yes.
Resolution passes 7-0.
Resolution number 94.
Accept transfer of property located at 154 East Seneca Street to the City of Oswego.
Counselor DeMassey, Counselor McBrearty. This was a property we had the city BOCES kids demolished. The property was actually owned, but it was vacant and blighted, so we had the city BOCES kids tear the house down, and now we're taking back the empty lot. Any comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Gosick.
Yes.
Counselor Tesario.
Yes.
Counselor Cordino.
Yes.
Counselor McBrady.
Yes.
Counselor DeMassey.
Yes.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot.
Yes.
Resolution passes 7-0.
Okay, any unfinished business to come before the council? Seeing none, I'll take a motion to adjourn. Counselor Tesario, Counselor DeMassey. Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Gosick.
Yes.
Counselor Tesario.
Yes.
Counselor Cordino.
Yes.
Counselor McBrady.
Yes.
Counselor DeMassey.
Yes.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot.
Yes.
Resolution passes 7-0.
Meeting is adjourned.